Triumph Allied Forces. MCA Records. For many, discovering a legendary band is a straightforward affair. A hit on the radio, a friend's recommendation, or a major label push. But my own introduction to the mighty Canadian power trio Triumph was far more circuitous, beginning not with arena rock glory, but with the humble lure of the nice price bin at the local supermarket. The year was the late 90s, and the initial spark wasn't the band itself, but a stray solo record, Rik Emmet's Absolutely. This chance purchase was the first clue, a hidden breadcrumb leading to a much larger musical treasure. The true revelation, however, arrived later, again courtesy of a deeply discounted vinyl, an album with a scuffed, forgotten cover, its identity almost erased by the passage of time. Yet, when the needle dropped on that battered copy of 1982's Never Surrender, the sound was anything but defeated. The sheer quality and technical brilliance were instantly arresting, and it was only then, connecting the virtuosic guitar work and soaring vocals, that I realized the connection. The phenomenal Rik Emmet was the band's driving force. This discovery, born from a bargain, quickly fueled a full-blown obsession, leading straight to what is arguably the band's peak, 1981's Allied Forces. The irony that I had to stumble upon the band years later in a nice price bin is compounded by the larger, almost criminal oversight of their international career. In North America, Triumph was nothing short of royalty. Albums like Allied Forces didn't just sell, they went platinum and cemented the band as an essential arena headliner, recognized in 1981 with the Innovators of the Year award for their laser-light spectacle. They were a commercial and critical force south of the border and heroes in their native Canada. Yet, this monumental success simply did not translate to Europe, a fact that remains a source of frustration for their dedicated fans. While a previous single managed a brief chart appearance in the UK, Allied Forces itself only limped to a peak of number 64. This geographical disparity is a genuine rock and roll tragedy, because the music is utterly undeniable. Allied Forces is not just an album, it's a statement. It is a seamless, powerful marriage of hard rock muscle and heavy metal adrenaline, possessing a distinct personality that refused to be pigeonholed. There's the crushing power of the title track, the melodic genius of their signature anthem, Magic Power, and tracks that easily match the early, fiery brilliance of metal legends like Riot. This trio, fueled by the dueling vocal attack of Rik Emmet's melodic grace and Gil Moore's gritty snarl, delivered a masterpiece that shifted fluidly from epic progressive statements to straight-up, infectious rock and roll. How a band this technically proficient, this spectacular, was denied the global stage it deserved remains one of the great historical injustices of 80s rock. You and I finding those vinyls years later weren't just discovering a band, we were correcting a historical wrong. The true genius of Triumph, the quality that transcends the band's baffling lack of European success, is the message embedded in the grooves of that vinyl. Allied Forces didn't just deliver a knockout punch of musicianship and genre-bending rock, it carried a manifesto. Unlike bands content to merely preach rebellion or indulgence, Triumph used their arena anthems to sing the gospel of positive conviction. Their lyrics weren't just praising the spirit of rock and roll, they were directly speaking to the audience, giving them a roadmap for life. In tracks like Fight the Good Fight and Magic Power, the message is clear: perseverance matters. They told their listeners, the ordinary man in the crowd, that no matter how simple or overlooked you might feel, you have an imperative to do your best, to bring your unique force to the world, and that this effort is crucial to improving the world around you. This uplifting, self-affirming core is what gave their songs their longevity and impact. And that is where my journey finds its true meaning. The battered, nice price copy of Never Surrender, that led me to Allied Forces, was a literal act of destiny, the universe whispering a forgotten message of strength and quality directly into my hands. So here we stand, decades removed from the arena rock pinnacle, clutching a cheap piece of plastic or vinyl whose true worth is only known to the faithful. My personal discovery, starting with a nice price Rik Emmet solo album and backtracking through a battered copy of Never Surrender, to the sheer brilliance of Allied Forces, is a testament to the band's enduring quality, a quality so potent it can survive the neglect of a continent and the indignity of a clearance bin. Perhaps that's the final, beautiful twist in the story of Triumph. They were never about mainstream accolades or critical validation, they were about the connection between a powerhouse trio and the fans who believed in their message. The fact that their best work was hidden from the world only makes the discovery sweeter, like uncovering a long-lost treasure map. The Allied forces, the three musicians, their powerful, positive music, and their devoted North American fans, may have been defeated on the battleground of European charts, but their sound never surrendered its soul. My quest didn't end with a platinum album, it started with a nice price sticker. And every time that needle drops on those opening riffs, I'm reminded that sometimes, the true soundtrack to a rock and roll destiny is played not in a stadium, but in the quiet thrill of a forgotten bargain. Go find your own nice price copy. The Alliance is waiting.